left?
No, I'm talking to Rack.
Like Olympic events. Like walking simulator. That's a game. We can walk.
Simulator. I mean,
I gotta place more trail. You know, no, I need to bring add-ons. What?
Yeah, I'm no health expert, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah.
So when you finish, he
Oh, I wanted to.
literally
There you
looked
go.
at me doing the jet.
Oh no! I just did him so dirty. I like.
Hear me? I'm here. Out for you.
I kind of ran into him, but he didn't notice. Hey Ren, if you're still in the chat, I'm guessing we're gonna, you know. Yeah, no, that's I wouldn't do that. To be honest. Yeah, she doesn't want to.
go find a locker.
See someone named I have Kindred, so I can see this going.
How far is that jet?
Up to you, Victor.
All right, second up of the game.
Get out of characters. Dude, if I'm looking at particular concept that needs a lot of brain power, then I'll do that. I'll turn it down. But typically, I just like to like.
Take it. Just take it. Stop. Just.
But keep it up.
I'm sorry, man. That did feel a little scummy. I promise I wasn't trying to play dirty. It's just I was chasing the Meg, and then the unhook happened right behind me, and you were just the first person I saw. And the fact that even if you had DS, I could do the final judgment. It's just, you know, it just makes sense for me to do that. Okay. Momentum lost. I will get trail up there. I know this is a waste of pop, but I think if alright, I'm just gonna take this. I wanted to pop it. I already knew you were here. They are gonna finish that far gen. There's no way I get that. Hook him and then I can't believe that. Oh, dude, the range was dirty there. What? No, you can warn him right now. I took the box. We're in a custom match, so we're just having
You have
fun.
to be in front of the hats.
He didn't leave because he wants to
Yeah.
I'm a rogue gamer. I'm a rogue gamer. I'm a rogue gamer. Yes. The assist. Thank you so.
Excuse my language, I'm sorry. Bug me.
Bob ammo? Ah?
What the
Oh my god.
Yo, let's go.
Oh, I already skipped. Sorry.
What the? So disrespectful.
Oh, over here, holy shit.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
What?
I don't know. What up? What up? What up? Hey, nerds. How's it going? Sorry, I didn't have the music going. One sec. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mad. Hi, Boiler. Appreciate you guys all popping in. Mad got rolled by Buttspot in the pre-stream chat. Pre-stream chat. Oh my god. It's gonna be a long stream. Yeah, Mad, I've never had Canes either, or Wingstop. They have so many dealerships, BMW, Porsche. So context, or Matt, I'll let you dox if you want to dox. I won't share where you are if you don't want me to. But I mean, you're talking about it in my chat, so I feel like it's okay. Anyway, gamers, just more DVD tonight. Keep it simple, keep it chill, back to my roots. I'm at Erie 4, 1 pip. We'll see if I get to Erie 1 tonight. I seriously doubt it. I think, unfortunately, rank resets on Monday, and I don't really have time to play tomorrow. I definitely don't have time to stream unless it were really late. But Matt's from Brazil. Yeah, man, you got it. In Houston. I've actually been to Houston. Or was it Austin? No, I think I've been to Austin, Texas. Feel like you can come meet me, but if you do, bring me food. Yeah. Texas is Texas, you know? I'm of the opinion that we should just let Texas be its own country because they wanted that, at least at some point. And they're on their own power grid anyway, so like, you know, let them have it, I guess. Hey, Ginger, thanks for popping in, dude. Say Houston again. Houston? Oh, yeah, I kind of say Houston with a Y. So I could say Houston, 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 Houston. It's Houston, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. I speak American, and America, at least in Texas, we call it Houston. I'm pretty sure that's how people in Texas call it. Am I weird? Am I weird for this? Chat, help. Oh, hell yeah. Speaking of Texas, that's Big Iron himself. Nine Terrasu. Excuse me, I was sipping some ginger ale. We got Karks, insert waffle here, and just Jill Valentine. Very simple. Wait, do I have the cowboy emote? Oh, I don't. I need the Pepe cowboy where he's shooting revolvers in the air. That one's so funny. I use it all the time at Discord. I said through the headsets for my boss to hear that I needed a metric shit ton of cheese to make potato soup today, and she wanted to know how to make. Hey, no, a shit ton is a metric unit. That is actually a thing. To find pronunciation, I just never heard it said with the H. Sounds like something a fake American would say, trying to cover himself. You don't sound very patriotic, brother. But yeah, no, I think if you look it up, a shit ton is actually a unit. I don't know how often people use it, but it is like, it does actually have a meaning. A double batch is 4 cups of cheese and 8 cups worth of berries. What's Varys Dairies? No, 9, of course you can get in, dude. If you want to hop in the VC, I'm just in my server. But no pressure. Around here, we only measure in American tons and burger tons. Hell yeah, brother. Next thing you know, people are going to start using stones. My frames. Yes. Yes. I made the mistake. Same mistake as last night. I have all the things open. Don't stare at me. I'm getting like 20 frames. Is it a stealth killer? Are they on me? Oh man, what is... I don't know what changed lately, but... Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop the replay buffer. Please help. Please be better. I have no idea where he is. He's behind me. Dude, I'm playing at like 10 FPS. Fuck. Okay, let's see all the shit I can close. VPN, gone. Signal, gone. Fair. What the fuck is going on? Oh, I'm not recovering this entire time. Oh. Dude, easy clap. GG easy. Alright, 9, get in here, brother. I'm making dinner right now. Ginger, of course you can join. Oh my god. Yes, guys, please join. It's an open lobby for a reason. You don't even have to ask. And if you want to hop in the VC, let me know. There's a community queue in my server and I can pull you in. But no pressure at all to join the VC. I believe a metric shit ton is the equivalent of 4 washing machines per bald eagle and freedom units. Oh, sorry, I missed spot. I believe a metric shit ton is the equivalent of 4 washing machines per D's eagle and free D's undies. I like undies. Oh, 9's coming in hot. Hello, gamer.
Boys.
I'm trying to frantically close stuff so I get more frames. I'm also reading, so she just said, she was like, how big is that? I told her, this is the US, we don't do metric.
I feel like we just go by that sounds good enough and roll with it. I think that's how we ended up with 12 inches and a foot.
Oh yes, Daddy.
Yeah. Okay. Close this. Sorry, I'm doing like one too many things. Close that. Close
You're good. I just
that.
got some pasta and I'm devouring real quick.
X devour soap. Okay, I feel like I've closed all of the things. Thanks for the sound bite. The Caillou sound bite. Oh my god, it's gonna be a long stream. I keep like slurring my words. And we're gonna lose an hour of sleep tonight too.
Are you toasted, dude?
I mean, I had a seltzer, but it was only 2 milligrams. I shouldn't be. Have to go on
That would
airplane
be
mode.
enough to put me over the edge, dude.
Appreciate it, Lane. Enough to clog an elephant's arteries. God. With that amount of dairy, it descends. Yes, Ginger, it's daylight savings. You're gonna lose an hour of sleep going into tomorrow. Thought it was a week from today? Well, then my dad lied. Are you guys calling my dad a liar? Just be straight up.
I'm calling him up right now.
Well, I ain't calling him a truther.
We're calling him a noper, not a nodder.
Nope, dude. Good one. Mr. Bo Sr. is not a liar. See, I was thinking my parents would be called like Bo Ma and Bo Pa.
I like that.
But if people have better ideas, I'm open.
Dude.
I'm wide open. I'm ready to receive, brother.
I feel like I'm a Dwight main now. Or a Babish main now. Dude, I actually started spending my blood points yesterday. I got 500,000 through. I've got 3.8 million left to go.
Dude, just dump them in characters you don't play, and if you get them
Like
to P3, you have those characters' perks on all your other survivors.
Oh, you know what I should do is I should level up. Well, I already have all the perks from before.
Right, but I'm saying if you get every character to Prestige 3, then you have their 3 teachables at level 3 on every other survivor automatically.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, and it's the same with P1 and P2.
Okay.
So in the long run, that's like the best way to get every perk on every character. Well, not even on every character. That's just the best way to get perks on a character you like, is instead of getting that one character, just leveling them over and over and over and over again. If you just get the other character to P3, then like you have the perks.
Okay. I didn't know that's
Mr.
how it works.
Yeah, it's they reworked the prestige system a few months ago.
Okay, so I see like all of Yui's perks. Because Yui's my only prestige 10 character.
Dude. Yeah, so what happened was if you had a character at prestige 1 before the change, now they're prestige 3. And if you had them at prestige 3, now they're prestige 9.
Okay.
So like my Felix and my Jeff are prestige 9, and then I have a few that were already prestige 3. But dude, it was so lame. I had so many characters that were like prestige 0, level 40 something. And it's like, man, I was so close. Boiler Dwarf, Boiler, I don't know if we can call my parents Mr. and Mrs. Bastion, because then who am I? Can I not be Mr. Bastion then? What if I have a husband or a boyfriend? Can he also not be Mr. Bastion? See, Mr. Bastion Jr. was a good save, but I saw that one coming. And that's why I said, what if I had a boyfriend? Mr. Bastion's plural.
BD Nuts Senior.
Mr. Bastion's plural is just too funny to me. Boyfriend would be beau-friend. So actually, if I remember correctly, in French, the word for like boyfriend or girlfriend, you'd say like petit copain, which literally means like little friend. But then something like I think belle-mère, which literally means like pretty mom, pretty mother. I think that's actually the word for like mother-in-law, which is so funny if that's true. I might be misremembering.
It's a cannibal.
Booba. Say hello to my little friend. And it's not Scarface, it's just some French guy. Oh, Babish, you got this?
Say hello to my little friend.
And it's just... Oui. But yeah, so Boiler, maybe fact check me on... Oh!
You good?
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Here he's
Oh, I got him to bonk.
Nice.
Sheesh, but I was afraid. I stunned him. Feels bad, man.
Drop that pallet right on his tooth.
Oh! I've fucked up.
Oh damn, I saw that.
I got him. He swung though. I don't think I make 2. Dude, he's a big swinger.
Where are you?
Oh no, he's chainsawing! Dude, I'm already injured. Why? Oh, he's such a big swinger. I didn't even spin him that time. Why are there no pallets? Ah! Dude, there were no pallets anywhere. I swear. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. There's a vault in here, right? There's a... Oh, Nia. Oh, Nia, no. Oh, I guess she took a hit for me. I big preach. Oh, you want to... Oh, yeah, I've heard this is like a dirty infinite. Yeah, he doesn't want the smoke. Dude, thanks for that beamer save.
I got you, bro. I've been practicing those a lot.
Nia needs some help at main.
Oh, I'm too far away.
Oh, doesn't want the smoke. What's up, Vibes? Thanks for popping in, dude.
Vibes? Oh my god.
Yeah, the Good Vibes MD. Stands for my dick.
No longer an honor.
You just walk into court. Yeah, I'm guilty. It was funny.
My bad, sir. Won't happen again.
Oh, no, man, I slow vaulted it. I played myself. That's chat. We don't have to talk about that. So anyway, I'm going to catch up with chat. Speaking of, oh, he's cringe. He vaulted the window. He's cringe. Killer's cringe. We got him. He needs to DC now. He went to... That would have been so mean.
So close.
A mime appears. Ginger said when... So guys, say hello to my little friend. It's mime. Console Bubba Gaming. The Bully Squad. No. And yeah, I should have brought windows to see. Pallets.
That was just gonna make it feel all better.
Thanks, Babish. Also, thoughts and prayers go to Boiler. He said he's gonna go play Clash in League. And it has nothing to do with Clash, it's just League.
Oh lord, he coming.
Oh lord, he coming. No, don't kick that.
Dude, he's got kickers. That's what they do.
Dude, he never kicked my
like,
gen earlier.
I feel like some of these... Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
I feel like some of these hooks are way too close to rocks.
Why, you can't get a good angle?
No, I feel like you could easily get stuck on them.
Oh, okay, he decided not on me. I was like committed to that gen. Don't worry, I'm gonna get on that gen.
Oh, lord.
Oh.
I played myself.
Don't check this, don't check this. He thought about it.
He's...
Wait, you ready for the play of the century?
I'm ready, dude. He's on his way.
Touch. Okay. Clash and League depression is real.
Do you still have to get safe unhooks?
Yeah, I need 3 safe unhooks in a match. It's not the end of the world.
Oh, it's a single match, okay.
Yeah, 3 in 1 match. That's why I haven't been getting it. I've been getting like 2. He's coming back, by the way. He's right here.
Looping with friends. Oh, he doesn't want me.
Oh my, I faked that window and he's gonna swim here. Oh, why would you? I'm big dead, but oh my, never mind. What?
What?
Dude, I have so many questions. Do you think I can pose as a mannequin and he won't notice?
Maybe.
Hold on. I think I need to not have an item, but I'm gonna try that.
Where'd he go? Oh, he doesn't want the smoke.
He doesn't want the Babish smoke. He knows what that noggin can do. Dude, I like to think that instead of using the beamer, you're just reflecting it off your head.
I just bend over.
You bend over, you point the flashlight at your head, and it reflects into his eyes. Is this a new map? No, it's a rework of Mother's Dwelling on Red Forest. Oh, he feels bad, man.
Damn, dude, that is the strongest tent I've ever seen.
That canvas is Kevlar, brother. Slash resistant. Ooh. I make it to this pallet. He might. Oh my. I played myself.
No.
Dude,
Uh-oh.
I feel for this, Bubba. I didn't see where the gates were.
Oh god, I think I'm in the part of the map where there's no pallets.
Oh, Ginger, I see you're in the community queue. I'll pull you in after this match wraps up, dude. Thanks for joining. But yeah, they reworked another map. I forget which one. Nine, do you remember what map they reworked besides this one?
The Red Forest, I think.
Why am I seeing all the auras, by the way?
Does he have Rancor? Is that what Rancor does?
No, you would be exposed if he had Rancor. Follow me? Hello? Let's go.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know why we can see everyone's aura. I like it.
I can't see auras, it's just you.
Oh, I can see everyone's aura, and I don't know why. So that's the gate. Alright, I'm gonna... Ooh. Oh, don't loop with me! Okay, I'm gonna open the gate. I think we'll make it. I don't make it. I make it. He's just revving. He could have done that. He was just revving. Yeah, I figured it was one of the other survivors' perks, but yeah, exactly. I don't know which one. Alright, let's see what perk this is. That's... Wait, I honestly have no idea why I could see everyone.
I've heard the new survivor perks are pretty interesting. Maybe it's one of those.
No, I'm looking at everyone's perks, and it's not... It's just like... Wait, I'm actually so confused. Wait, why? Wait. So, you had DS, Prove Thyself, Boil Over, Adrenaline. Okay, that's fine. I had Will Make It, Guardian, Borrowed Time... Oh, it's No One Left Behind. I didn't know it did this. No One Left Behind. The auras of all other survivors are revealed to you once the exit gates are powered. Oh, that makes sense. I just have never really used No One Left Behind before.
Oh, he had Discordance.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he got a lot of value from that.
I mean, I didn't notice it. And we worked together in gens a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta pull Ginger in.
Roger that.
Oh, what's up?
What's up?
Whoa.
Boys, girl, boys, girl. boy, girl. Like, just make a pattern out of it. Wait, Ginger, have you ever... You must have heard, I think it's Steve Reich clapping music?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. This is just a meme for my musicians. Just the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And then... I don't think it would come through on my back. Nah.
You know, I played flute, so there's no way I could help you here.
So, in undergrad...
Do I know how to do it? No.
Yeah, so in undergrad, because I was at my school as a music performance major, I had to take something called Eurythmics. It's part of like Dalcroze pedagogy, and part of one of those courses you got a partner and you had to perform clapping music together.
Okay.
And it was...
So I would have loved to do that. My professor focused a lot on Kadai, which is okay, but that's all we did.
Yeah, I think it's definitely better to get kind of a range of music education. What would you call that? I guess programs? Methods?
Yes. Especially because it's different through a lot of schools. Like mine only did methods classes semesterly. A lot of classes, like schools do them as a whole year.
Yeah.
Dude, this Cheryl is dripped out. Oh my god.
Dude, Pongu has that skin too.
OG Kung. Oh, I think wait, hold on.
So what? Dude, you have a problem. I don't like that you have that skin.
What?
That's a red flag in my book.
What do you mean?
You have a red flag for Michaela.
No. Kayla's hot
Oh,
as
damn.
fuck. Only green flags. I ignore Michaela's red flags.
Listen, this is at least
make it a
yellow
green flag,
at
then.
most.
But yeah,
Go
so
green.
Pongu showed me that Cheryl skin, and I was like, holy, like, bubblegum, alien, like, oh, I forget what I said exactly. We agreed that it's the kind of thing a middle schooler would dream to wear.
Oh, absolutely.
Looks like something out of Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
We're going to tapioca.
Also, you guys know the Fritos cheese?
The one that comes in like a little plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I wholeheartedly just dropped it on the floor and it did a flip and all my cheese stayed in. None's on my carpet.
Oh shit.
Oh,
I would call
shit.
that a success.
That kind of makes sense though, because all the weight's in the bottom.
Well, I've eaten most of it, so like I was kind of scared.
Don't get me wrong, I still would have been terrified.
Terrified for my carpet.
Have you guys? I don't know if this is something new, but I was at the store the other day and I saw Cheetos makes popcorn now.
Have you tried the mac and cheese?
I haven't. I tried the
Brother, what
Cheetos mac
happened to
and cheese.
just potato chips?
Oh shit! I have heard of that, but I forgot that existed.
Is it a stealth killer?
Wait, are you saying that to me or did she say I missed something?
To who? What happened?
Who are you?
Oh, what did Ginger last say? Mac and cheese.
I asked if it was a stealth killer. That was the last thing I said.
Oh,
Because it's kind of sketchy that I'm halfway on a gen and no one's appeared.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
scared.
on a main building trying to knock this out sooner rather than later.
But no, the Cheetos mac and cheese is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was surprised the popcorn was as good as it was because it was like cheddar jalapeno.
Wait, do they make
It's like
flamin'
popcorn or
hot?
popcorn?
Do they make flamin' hot Cheeto mac and cheese?
Yeah.
Oh,
That sounds
Alright,
delicious.
something sus here.
I think they might be AFK.
no, we're just goated.
I'm not.
Just believe.
But I just soloed that gen.
Fuck, I don't have a drink near me.
Are we drinking?
No, it was a bit.
Ah.
A long time ago, we played Drunk by Deadlight, and one of the rules was if you solo a gen, you can call out a shot for somebody else.
Oh, it's Deathslinger and he is AFK. I'm poking
Oh.
his cheeks.
Also, yeah, vibes. That was the bit. I said it in my boomer voice. What happened to good old potato chips? Why we gotta have all these jalapeno
Deathslinger needs to moisturize.
ketchup?
That's all I'm saying.
Dude, like the noggin?
Like his face, like man, he's got some serious. I don't know what that is.
Happens to the best of us. Flamin' hot D's. I sure hope not. You guys ever have Takis?
I love
No,
tacos.
actually.
I love Takis. I didn't really know about them until maybe a few years ago because they're just, I guess not, I don't know, they're not a popular thing around where I grew up,
He's on his way.
but Takis go hard.
I tried them because Markiplier talks about them all the time.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Except he just licks off all the flavoring and doesn't eat the chip, which is so cursed. Like, I love Markiplier. That's so cursed, though. Like, that, he can't be serious. It has to be a meme, right? Please tell me it's a meme.
For real though,
Wait, can I get my challenge done if I just hide near him?
What's your challenge?
To hide within, like,
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, if it's a chase one, I don't think it would count.
Oh, no.
but you're never gonna get that unhooked survivors challenge.
I know. I just need 3 safe unhooks in one match. They need to add it so survivors can hook other survivors. No, unironically though, I've been saying for a long time, there should be like a base kit feature or a perk where you can stop somebody from unhooking you. I think it should be like base kit where you can just kick them in the face and be like, no. Stop. Get some help.
It injures them.
Dude, if it injured them, that would be crazy. Alright, I want my points. I'm gonna go open the other one too. And then I'm gonna leave.
Flashback.
I did.
Why? You don't gotta be rude to him. He's just big chillin'.
Wait, did I not get my 8 seconds? I want my 8 seconds. Or is it because it's in game? I want my 8 seconds. Cheryl was not sticking around.
Oh, she's just out.
Yeah, if you guys leave, I want to try to grab Hatch. If you don't mind. Ooh, wait, maybe
Okay.
get an item. Just yoink an item from a chest somewhere.
Yoinky. Oh, I got a beamer.
Haha, enemies closer.
On some bones. You
Huh? Oh, did you want to find Hatch?
if you don't
I'll
mind.
leave.
It's music bumping. I hope you appreciate it. I need to find more.
Moonwalking.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, she's cracked at the game. I still can't moonwalk. 1,000 hours in this game, probably 800 of which in Survivor. Still can't moonwalk. How sad would it be for me to die to endgame collapse?
Oh no.
Low key, I kind of want to, like, whenever there's somebody AFK like this, I can't help but feel like they're probably trying to, fuck, that's going fast. They're probably trying to lower the MMR. So part of me wants to, like, have everyone die to the endgame collapse so it goes up. To, like, troll them, to, like, give them a 4K so their MMR just keeps going up.
There's gonna be a YouTube video after you do that where it's like, I got the Eerie 1 as killer without touching the game.
Jeez. Jolt, Nurse's Calling, Scourge Hook, Dead Man's. Dang.
Whenever it's something like that, I'm terrified of them being like AFK killers too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is you can't trust. I don't trust like that. I need to set up like a source on stream where I can just queue up a YouTube video, YouTube clip. Because I'm trying to reference it's Eric Andre show, and he's in a giant trench coat on some other person's shoulders, right? So he's like 12 feet tall. And he's just walking down the street, he's going, I am going to buy a car today. And then he walks into this dealership and he's like, oh, I forget the guy's name. He's like, you know, where's whoever? And the guy comes out and, you know, the guy's like, I'm not selling to you, like, what's under that coat? And he's like, sir, I will not undress for you. I would like to purchase your finest motor vehicle. And then the guy's just like, I don't trust like that.
I don't trust like that. Dude, some of the things that Eric Andre says in that show live rent-free in my head.
Dude, yeah, I mean, like, vibes in my chat said, let me in! Let me in!
There's that one. There's Nightmare, Nightmare, Nightmare. That one's cracks me up every time.
Dude, Rack, I must have shown this to you. When I was allegedly on shrooms, Rack almost sent me this demonic picture that said Nightmare, Nightmare, Nightmare. And he sent it to me the next morning. I'm like, you're a bad person. And he's like, I didn't send it though. And I'm like, but you thought about it. I need to get more shrooms, allegedly. In Minecraft. Some mushrooms.
I know someone that grows them.
Fortnite, allegedly. Some Fortnite chug jug shrooms. Some shield mini. Have you seen that? It's like a TikTok where it's the guy opens the fridge and there's little glass bottles with, you know, a cork and blue liquid like the mini pots in Fortnite. And he's like, oh shit, these are my favorite. And then he flips to the selfie cam and he's like, just a Fortnite filter face. Looks like Will Smith or something, I don't know.
I haven't seen that. The ones that have been cracking me up are the
Bonsoir,
like,
Nebs.
presidential
Yes.
TikToks.
Dude,
Oh my God, they're so
those
funny.
genuinely, I think those are written so well, and then the fact that it's like deep fakes of presidents makes it so much funnier.
It's so good.
Guys, oh god, the killer's in my chat.
What?
No, it's the killer popped in and said, "Good luck, have fun." I
Bendy
do.
132008.
Hello, Mr. Killer.
I have your
Hi,
IP.
Mr. Killer.
Mr. 132008.
Gotta go to that mushroom biome. See, Vibes gets it. Want me to kill anyone
Gotta go
from
up
you?
into the clouds.
Skull Merchant.
Oh, it's the skull
Yeah,
merchant.
Bendy, I want you to try your best to kill all of us without stream sniping. So like a normal match. It would be so mean from you, like, yeah, can you get the one random?
That's what I thought of first when he said that.
No.
Want me to kill anyone for you? I love that.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, in all seriousness, Bendy, just a normal match would be great, dude. Just have some
Anytime I
fun.
eat ramen, I'm like, I want to buy chopsticks. Just specifically for my ramen.
Dude, I hate getting profiled at Asian
Oh,
restaurants. I always have to ask for chopsticks.
No. Really?
Yeah. I see other people given chopsticks and they see my honky ass and then they give me a fork and I'm like,
I want to learn with the chopstick.
Your honky tonk ass walking. They're like, yep.
Listen, if we can do the boot scoot and boogie, they don't think we can hold the chopsticks.
Vibe said I know some French words, but my PR team has advised me not to say them. Because my friend said bonjour earlier. Oh, that's the... Well, there's the random.
Oh no.
Mission accomplished, boys. We got him.
I have a glyph challenge.
You have a glyph challenge.
I do. I have commune with 2 blue. Ooh, okay.
Oh, I think she has
that
Face the
goes to
Darkness.
boys.
Yeah, I have blue glyphs to try and commune with. Which fuck me if I can ever find glyphs.
Well, in the challenge, it should tell you kind of where they appear. I don't know where she went. She was just by the hook.
She broke the wall.
Oh, hey, what's up?
That nobody else ever breaks.
Oh, we need
I think
to...
she's coming
Okay.
for me, I think, because I did the... Ah! Flubs! I didn't get the thingy in time. Oh, shoot, we're both here. Hi!
Hello.
Oh, what's
I
up?
didn't know you were...
Oh, what's up?
I am sorry! I didn't know you were
No,
there.
you're good. You're good. I took a hit for you. Hopefully that helps. She's still chasing you. I'm getting back on that, Jen. I always forget that she goes undetectable when she's in the drone.
Pallet! Pallet! Oh, she has a short skin?
No!
Yeah, that's like the elite skin they dropped.
I don't want to talk about it.
Did 9 fail to beam?
9 failed a pallet, honestly.
fell.
Oh
beam into a
no.
She was still hooking me.
9, don't get exposed. I'm coming to save
Yeah.
you, Ginger.
Don't get exposed as he's in chase.
Well, he wasn't injured at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with this killer, sometimes it's better just to take the hit instead of
Good.
Right,
becoming
exactly.
exposed.
Yeah. Kind of like with the knight, it's better to let him hit you so that the guard disappears.
Mhm.
Ooh, yeah.
Otherwise, if the guard hits you and then he hits you quickly, it's game over, man.
Where is she?
Where is Rachel?
God damn it.
Oh my lordy. But yeah, another thing. Wait, to continue on this topic of getting profiled as a white person in an Asian restaurant. I like spicy food. I like pretty spicy food. And so like I'll go someplace and they'll say like, "Oh, are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "It's really hot." And I'm like, "I hope so."
I can't. Like I went to a legit like ramen place and even their lowest was too spicy for me.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, I am the whitest of white here. I am a redhead, but I mean like I am the whitest of white.
I love spicy, but sometimes like some of the dishes that they make.
Oh, don't get you. Okay, good. I was like, just don't get grabbed.
Does anyone get?
She did not have a glow.
Yeah. So when she's in the drone, she goes undetectable, and it lingers for a bit after she leaves.
Ew. Oh, it's not there. Sorry, Meg, I'm coming. This isn't Meg. Oh well. Do you not want to heal?
Are you
Okay.
patting up?
I don't know. She said, let's come. Oh, that was not the intention.
Please just break this pallet. I ran
Trying
into
to
her.
heal her. No.
Oh, she really did not want to break that pallet.
Oh, here. Hold on. I have done a mess up.
God damn. Respectfully, Chad. You know, I'd kind of let her hook me any day.
Oh, she's broken.
There's. Oh. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she has no either.
Ew.
¿Dónde está?
Dude, there's nothing sadder than being on a hook and seeing your gen regress. And you're like, no, I did that. All my hard work. Please touch my gen. Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Like,
Yes.
I had a slight panic because I totally forgot how to disarm
Uh-oh.
something.
We need to find those. We need to find those.
Find what?
Sniff the bones. She has devour. Gotta find the fiery bones.
Flubs.
Don't even heal. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Find the bones. I'm searching
Where are
upstairs.
you?
And
Okay,
I'm
okay,
so
downstairs.
sorry. I cannot sleep. I cannot dream tonight.
Would they be in the courtyard? Does the courtyard
They
have
could be,
bones?
yeah.
In the corners, I think. Yeah.
I'm still searching
Man,
upstairs.
she has this place really well trapped. Oh, she's downstairs. She's gonna find me.
Rip. She did kind of. I don't think she tunneled the random out, but she did kill the random first.
Oh, hey, ma'am. Hey, ma'am. I didn't want to have this talk. Okay, you did though.
She's got some words.
All right, I've checked like half the upstairs so far.
Just gonna go back to my ramen, and then I remembered I was in second state.
That's why you gotta keep just one hand on the keyboard. If you had chopsticks, you could use one hand to eat.
Exactly. I mean, I have a fork, but
No.
9?
tossed leftover chicken in it from yesterday.
Oh damn.
9. Where?
Downstairs.
Is she gonna come up the?
Nope. She's going through the hallway. Oh
Okay.
no, she's coming back. She went in a room. She's teaching a class.
Oh. Should I come down the showers or? I'm sorry,
She's, like,
Ginger.
on
I
the
don't think I'm gonna
opposite
make it to you in time.
No. No, you're good. You guys are over there.
My
I'm gonna try to. 9. You're gonna have haste. Go zoom me over. You got that. You got that. You got that. You got that.
I missed.
Fuck. That doesn't help. Rip, dude. Sorry,
I
Ginger.
looked in your direction and my bald head.
Oh! When was she behind me?
Oh no.
I don't make that. Oh, how
I
did?
finally found some bones, but they're not lit.
Oh! I don't make this. Oh, no way she left. She just really doesn't want to break pallets. So, how about those devour bones?
Oh yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna continue searching upstairs.
I've been looking downstairs. I can't find anything though.
Yeah. This is a bad map for bone hunting. Oh, she's on me again. Oh, she thought I went downstairs. Okay, bye.
Where'd she go?
She just dropped downstairs.
Oh.
I guess she got confused by my scratch marks. Okay.
Oh, there she is.
I thought you found the bones.
I thought he did too. I was excited.
I don't know what you want me to do here. I'm injured.
Yeah, I'm just no bones upstairs.
Is it a no bones there?
Bo,
Yep.
it's hatch time, brother.
No, please. No.
Binging with Babish is going down.
No, no, no. You got another hook state. This is gonna be the most brazen thing of my life. You think she knows where I am?
Never. She would never know. She might be able to sniff you out, though. I'm not sure.
Like a needle in a haystack.
I think she knows.
So.
Like a Felix in the library.
Bro, I'm already injured. Why would I care?
It does slow you down, I think.
No, 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 no. Can we talk about this?
I talk about. Ah. Why does Dwight sound like Steve?
Oh. Double back on the double back on the. Wait, actually, if I can make it to this window.
The quadruple back.
Okay, I can make it to the window. She didn't break that wall yet. She's never gonna know. Sorry, 9.
You're good.
Bye, Skull
On the
Hunter.
hatch.
No, dude, I really want to find these Devour Bones first.
They're not in the courtyard. I already checked them.
Think I can build her a house? Oh, I'm gonna build her a house.
Oh, she trapped you.
No, no, I want to build her a house. Oh, fuck. Wait, come here. Okay, come here, come here. No, you're supposed to be inside, not outside. I'm big dead.
Now you got this. You can spin her.
I don't know, I can't. That was your beamer, though. It was fun match,
get my
though.
beamer.
Yeah, sorry, I'll pick up the beamer. I'll beam myself. Oh, no, don't give me a hatch or something. She's gonna moor. If she moored me in the middle, that'd be dope. I mean, not that I want that.
I haven't seen her more yet, actually.
They reworked it. Well, when it was on the PTB, it was kind of lame, and people really complained.
I was gonna say it was kind of lackluster, but I think
It's better now. She just kind of like she walks up behind the survivor, puts her hand on their shoulder, then like stabs them through the back. And then like the drone is like there and scans the body after, but it's kind of like, eh.
Isn't it kind of like Freddy's?
Yes, now that you mention it. Sheesh. It's honestly just hooked me.
hit me. Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
I think it's under us.
She does not want you
No, she...
doing the thingy.
I just want to get to the next match. GG's though. They said that wasn't their main either, but I think they played pretty well for Skull
Oh yeah,
Hunter.
absolutely.
I want to
Nice
know where
use
the
of traps.
Devour.
Oh yeah, where was the Devour?
Yeah.
Where was it?
Wow, thanks. I don't know what you wanted there, dude. You're just carrying me around. Honestly, like, I wouldn't have been mad if you just picked me. But GG's, dude. I mean, honestly, I think you
Dude,
use the drones really
I
well.
think the new guy looks like a sim from like The Sims 4.
Oh, Renato.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's definitely a sim that I've made in the past.
Just the randomizer preset.
Yeah.
But thanks again for popping in, Bendy. Good luck, have fun next match, dude. That was a fun game. Cristiano Ronaldo? No. Close. Ronaldo in the game is Brazilian, not Spanish. Right? Isn't Cristiano Ronaldo Spanish?
I
don't
do
know.
not know.
Help. Thanks,
Play
Bendy.
the way you die.
GG's. Good luck next game, too. Again, I appreciate you popping in a chat. I just wanted to get to the next match.
Well, you mentioned this earlier, but I also have every survivor at level 40.
Bro, dude, that's what I see. That was like the old meta, is you got them all to 40 because then you had the teachables appear in other characters' blood webs. But if you got them to prestige 1, then you'd have every perk at level 3 automatically. So much better. But those last 10 levels are like a lot of blood points. It's like over 100k, I think.
And Len even told us like we should at least prestige all of our characters once before it changes. And I was like, nah.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me, I need to buy the new DLC. Alright, I got my 3 safe on hooks, by the way. So now I just need to vault a pallet or window while in chase.
Nice.
Dude, you can't... 9. That's a little edgy, man. I'm not...
How is that edgy? He looks like the Ice Age baby.
I'm afraid to say he does. you know what's crazy though is because the Ice Age characters, I mean, obviously Ice Age takes place like millennia ago, and it's like early man. I don't know if they're Cro-Magnons or Neanderthals or what. But oh, sorry, this just got my brain thinking about the whole like Russia, Alaska. There used to be like an ice bridge and people crossing over, because Yoichi's I think Japanese, because he's from the Ring. And so my point was going to be, I have a friend and she's like an 8th Indigenous American, but one time she says to me, she's like, yeah, I get the Asian flush or Asian glow and I don't know why. And I'm like, you do realize that like when there was I had explained like the land bridge and like people coming from Russia into Alaska, and then blew her mind. I was like, yeah, that's why like Indigenous Americans get that too.
Good old Pangea.
Oh yeah, good old Pangea.
Shout out to Pangea.
You know, all my homies fucked with Pangea. Bring back Pangea. What was the one in between? Because there was Pangea, and then there was like 2 large continents. And I'm sure it went like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but like it was like it was Pangea for a long time, then it was 2 for a long time. And then
I can't remember the names. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah. I want to say one started with a G. Is it a Billy? Oh, he's zooming.
Can I hide in the tree? I cannot. Okay.
Wait. Where's the nearest hook? Where's the nearest hook? I got this.
Do we?
Never mind, he went to the other hook. Oh, Meg! Oh, Meg! We both wanted the window.
Oh boy.
Hey, this hook is saboed though. At least this hook is. See, it's saboed. I don't think he'll make it. See, it's saboed. He's confused. I already pre-saboed. Wait, take a hit. Just one hit, please.
Here, if he's trying to get to this one, I was like, he can't get to this one if I'm sitting in front of it, right?
I'm gonna crawl under this pallet. Just you guys leave.
No.
I'm not, dude. You can see how recovered I am on the left side.
No.
No.
Take the hit.
No. Dude, this match is already so scuffed. We're throwing. Oh no. We're throwing so hard right now.
Is Yoichi going for you? Okay, hold up. I brought super early feeling. Let me find a boon.
Let me fin a boon real quick.
I forgot that I had For the People, but I couldn't remember what button it was.
Oh, it's
to get me
E.
For everyone.
E for heal.
Oh, come on. I know there's one up here.
Mr. Billy, what if we didn't?
How about we not say we did? Come on.
Dude.
I'll
no.
need a dude. That was
I have a. This is unrelated to what just happened.
no, go for it, man.
I have a friend that has recently gotten into DVD, and I explained to her like what Gerald was, and it made me think about that one stream where between every match we had to wait like 10 minutes for Arbiter to turn himself into Gerald. Do you remember that?
I'm sorry. Run that by me again.
The whole Gerald thing and like the stream.
Oh, Gerald. Oh, dude, yeah, when he would like pop in the store and glitch it so that he had the James Sunderland head on the Cheryl body, and he's like, guys, no, sorry, this is important. Give me a sec. And like 5 minutes later, he's like, okay, I got it.
Unimportant. I found my glyph.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag girls with glyphs.
More importantly, I can't find a
Nebs,
boon. Oh
my cousin used to
God.
make fun of me because I have smallish eyes, but it's from me.
He left me.
Oh, I'm big dead. I was reading chat.
Uh-oh.
I found a boon.
Hang on.
Oh, he's cringe. He broke the wall.
I'm on my way.
No, it's okay.
I'm on my way.
Do you know the way?
Dear.
I'm on my way.
Why are you running?
I'm on my way.
Did you just bag him once?
It's for all of us.
All right. So anyway,
Minus
catch up
Bo.
with chat now.
Everyone minus Bo.
we started throwing so hard from the start.
Ooh.
It's okay. You gotta have some fun, just meme matches, you know. That's interesting, Nibs.
Do we call this a hide in the basement moment?
I think so. I think that's the play.
Yeah, if you're seeking professional advice, that's not out of the question.
Like, we're just. How has the Yoichi not been?
That's 9.
Oh.
Before you continue that thought, that is 9. Choose your next words carefully. Dude, I've done that though. Like, I don't think I'm that salty or toxic in general, but one time I started to like get heated and I was like, oh, I'm in the call with this person.
Dude, there's been a couple times where I've been like hanging out with Grim, and Grim will just start blasting without. Oh!
I have a boon for you. It's in killer.
She's taking him in main upstairs.
Interesting. Ah, there it is.
That was very bold of her.
Oh.
She tried to just crouch around a corner and see if he would walk by. I don't think she makes this. She's got adrenaline, balanced landing, deliverance, for the people, or not for the people. Oh my god, built to last. Why did I say for the people? You have for the people.
We've got fourth people, power struggle, lithe, and flashbang.
That's such an odd assortment, but I kind of love it for you. Close.
He kind of played me there.
He
Why
did.
can't I see the pallet auras? Oh, live.
There he go.
A win for one of us is a win for all of us.
Dude, actually this Meg skin's pretty cool. There's like a pair of boots tied at
I
the
think you can see me.
top of the bag, and they actually flop around.
Oh. Boop.
So apparently, Pangea broke into Laurasia and Gondwana land.
Oh, Lower Asia.
Gondwana land.
Dude, that's what it was. It was Gondwana land. That's what I remember. That was just...
Oh, he's fucking.
Sometimes I love scientists. Just naming things. They really be like, that bird is a blue-footed booby. Five said Wakanda. No, a little different. Yeah, I think he was kind of slugging for the 4K. Don't worry, she's gonna beam you. Never mind, she's not gonna beam you. I was like, she had a decent angle if he picked up the right way. Oh, he's just big chillin'.
He is big chillin'.
He's, you know, he's adjusting his headset. His little brother's at the keyboard now.
He has to go feed his cat.
Yep. So, you guys come here often?
Once in a while.
All right, next match.
Yeah.
Let's go. Boys, girl, boys.
Boys.
Hey, I got one vault
Got my glyph.
pallet or window in Chase. You got your glyphs.
Yeah. Well, I got one of them. I need another.
How many glyphs do you need?
I said two.
That's a lot of glyphs for one person.
It is a lot of glyphs.
Are you sure you can handle that many glyphs?
I don't know. We're about to open another.
Do you have a
door.
license to carry that many glyphs?
All glyphed up.
Oh, they call me Little Glyphy. All right, Nine, give me a good build, and I swear to God, if you just read me the mismatch of perks you had last game.
Should we do perk roulette? That can be fun.
Man, I just want a fun build. I don't want.
Hang on, I'll get you a fun build. Don't you worry.
Oh no.
You have all the perks, right?
Yeah, I have all of them on. Well, not the new 6 on Felix, unfortunately. Man, it feels like just as I unlock the latest perks on Felix, they drop new survivors.
Ooh, okay. Stakeout, fast track, dark theory, and perception.
Okay, wait. Dark theory.
Maybe not dark theory and perception, but stakeout and fast track is fun. Hang on, I need to go to UEN.
What's perception? What? None. What are you smoking? Oh, premonition.
Oh. Maybe that was it and not perception.
Yeah, let me
did I
just
say?
bust out my tabletop gaming dice and roll for.
Alright, what was it? Stakeout, fast track.
Are you copying my build?
I'm gonna throw Pebble in there.
Fair enough. It's like a whole new build.
Listen, it's like it's like you're McDonald's and I'm Burger King.
Burger.
I was gonna say I better be McDonald's.
I'm Bourbon King. I don't know what to do for the last perk.
Look, I try not to get fast food too often, but McDonald's over Burger King any day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I've heard Burger King breakfast is actually amazing though. I didn't even know they did breakfast.
Oh my god. But like, if you get a breakfast burrito there compared to McDonald's, it's massive.
Oh,
You
like the
only get-
Burger King one is big?
Yeah, you get like just one burrito, and it's this massive burrito.
So
they just mash them together.
Oh, so it's about the size, Ginger. Is that what you're saying? Because I think it's about what the burrito has to offer.
The McDonald's burrito still tastes absolutely delicious.
It's more about the number for me, though. I prefer
Your
two.
burritos is better than.
I am curious, like the psychology behind that, though. Like, if you took an equivalent amount of food and you had it as one thing or two things, like, which one would people perceive as more if you didn't tell them that it was the same amount? I feel like naturally you'd think that the two things are more than the one big one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Vibe says Burger King is closest, so that's what he gets. Holy drip.
I don't know what to do for the last perk.
Pebble? No either? Dead hard?
Say less.
No, I was kidding. Don't do no either.
Oh wait, where's Inception?
Dude.
Oh, I don't know my alphabet. There it is.
I was gonna say, I hate how the perks are sorted by level, then alphabetically.
Yes.
Two things. One, first and foremost, where's my search bar? I just want a perk search. Secondly,
Uh-oh.
can we just sort them alphabetically? Just alphabetically.
For real.
That's it. That's all I'm asking. Or even better,
an option.
give me the option on how to sort them. Yes. By rarity,
Minecraft.
alphabetically, or maybe by category. Maybe by character.
Maybe
You know
by
what?
Survivor. Even Survivor would be fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but please, just give me the search. When I know exactly what perk I want, just give me the search bar. I just want to type in stakeout. No either. Like, I don't know how they have not implemented this yet. It's crazy to me.
I have mixed feelings.
So, Nine, how does this build work?
I don't know. It was on perk roulette.
Oh, okay, bet.
It was on perk roulette. Hello. I don't know
We'll
who
figure
I'm
it
up
out.
here with.
Oh, it's Bubba.
Would like to forfeit. Who just?
Hmm?
9.
What's up?
What happened?
9.
What'd I do?
You know what you did.
I'm the one that vaulted the fast vaulted the window, if that's what you mean.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's in chase. He's across the
I'm
map.
being chased. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's giving Bubba the business around this car. I'm
No, listen,
watching from
because
down the
as soon as
street.
you vaulted the window, like he got injured, and I wholeheartedly thought you just like fell right into it. And that's some shit I would do.
He bonked and each left.
Woo!
He's heading towards the completed gen right now.
Oh no, he's heading towards me on the uncompleted gen.
Yeah, I was gonna leave through the window, and then I was watching that.
Dude, this is a side note. Why are the stairs in these houses so massive? Like, I feel like they're really wide.
They're American stairs, brother. They need to fit my honky ass up and down.
Are we in Texas? Is that how the stairs are in Texas?
Like this. Now I'm gonna be blind the rest of the game. Oh,
Actually,
you coming to main?
you know, a fun build is deception, quick and quiet, head on. And I think decisive is something I used to run a lot.
Iron Will. I kind of like to run with that.
Mm.
I'm very much blind.
No, did you really just give me a random build and I fell for it? I trusted you, dude. Now I can't trust you anymore.
I could use a buddy. Don't I want a friend? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I got stuck.
Listen, man. Sometimes you just gotta dupe the homies. Like,
I actually dressed like the Joker. Like the
That's what I was
Joaquin
thinking.
Phoenix Joker.
No, that's the mom
Isn't it
makeup
his
skin.
skin?
Oh my god.
Oh, I've
I
never
just
seen it
keep
before.
burping.
dude, my leg is cramping. God.
We're having so many problems.
Over here.
I'm falling.
I was not expecting that.
Hey, how's it going?
I was about to take a drink.
No, you're good. I'm healing you.
I'm just chilling. Oh, I thank y'all.
Mhm.
Also, the Joaquin Joker was a fantastic Joker. That was such a good.
I still haven't seen it.
yet.
What?
They're making a second one right now, aren't they?
I don't know, but it was a fantastic movie.
I've seen
I'm-
some scenes.
I've
Like,
seen the stairs scene.
Oh, that's like
That's-
iconic from that.
That's
one.
it, though.
It's like I'm not a big DC or like Marvel guy, but I fucking love that movie. It's great.
9, I want to make sure, is that DC or Marvel? Do you
I
know?
don't
Oh, 9, come
DC?
on.
Is it? No, it's DC, right?
Are you sure? Are you so sure?
I'm locking in my answer. What is DC?
Correct.
I don't want to talk
Hey,
about it.
so Felix,
Please don't have basement in here. Okay, good.
On the way.
Son Goku, please.
But yeah, Joker
faster.
was DC because Batman is DC.
Oh, that's right there. Can I hide in these bushes? I cannot. I'm just gonna do a quick little.
That movie's psychologically fucked up. I think that's the point vibes. Although
That's
I
what-
know people have been complaining about the Jeffrey
I'm blind, so
Dahmer
tell me if he's coming.
series on Netflix and saying that it's like
Let me heal.
too crazy to watch.
Grrr.
I haven't seen that, but I know.
I haven't watched
a lot
it
of
yet,
my
but-
coworkers went bananas over it.
This reminds me of like a silly argument I've seen where people try to like, man, I know I've said this before, but I took a whole class on like morality and art, and like on one side there's absolutism where just like art has no morals ever and it never can, and then there's moralism, which is art always has morals.
No.
And then there's everything in between. Oh, okay, bye.
Oh, he has Tinkers. Must be. He ain't got no terror radius right now. Yeah.
And then you get in this weird argument of like, so for example, take like a painting that's like a depiction of hell. So you could argue like that's an immoral piece of art because it's depicting an immoral thing, and it gets so weird. But my point, my point here is like, when it comes to something like Joker, right? Because like Vibe said, oh, that movie is psychologically fucked up. Oh, I'm big dead. Or I guess more so the Dahmer series. How do I explain this point?
Oh, don't come this way. So, well, okay.
Okay, say you take the Joker, right? And the Joker is like psychotic, like does not value human life, like is just trying to like have fun and that sort of thing, and like will kill people and that sort of stuff. We like, it's weird because like we accept that. We're like, that's the way Joker is. Like he's a villain, he does that thing. But what's so funny to me is like if you
Oh.
That was so funny. You guys both started healing yourselves. Is if you say the Joker was like homophobic, people would get so mad. And it's like, he's a villain. He's supposed to be bad. He's supposed to be immoral. Like, how is this different than like...
We got this. We don't got this.
I don't trust like that. I know I'm going on a rant here, but you guys know what I'm saying? I know we're like...
Yeah.
You know things. But it's like weird how when it becomes like a very hot topic, like, you know, homophobia or racism or stuff, people get very upset over that. But we're like, yeah, no, he's like obviously a murderer and it's like psychopathic and stuff. Just kind of interesting. This Bo rant is over. Bo is, however, in chase and probably going to die.
Bo, I'm coming. I have Pebble.
Yeah,
Fuck, there's no window in here. Luckily
You're
he
good.
left
He's on
me.
me.
But it was literally a dead-end room. No. Wait. Recovered?
Unbreakable.
Oh, you have Unbreakable?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I just now remembered.
Oh, his chainsaw just ran out. Hopefully he's still chasing
No,
me.
no, 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 no. Shit.
No.
I was so close. This is gonna be awkward.
That was great. That was great. Oh my god.
I'm dead. That was worth it, but I'm dead.
That was too funny.
No.
Should have brought flip flop too. Oh, that was funny.
I can't blame myself there.
Oh no! No, Bo!
I was fucking around, kind of head empty.
No, I think I threw a pebble at you.
No, you didn't. You didn't. Trust me. If you did, it didn't. Vibe said, I think it's weird. I mean, let people watch what they want to watch, but at the same time, it's weird that as a society we glorify people like Dahmer. I don't think we necessarily glorify people like Dahmer. It's tough because there's people like, okay. So like, I think the most important thing is to have conversations about these things. So let's take violent video games for an example. There are people who believe that like violent video games cause violence and that they shouldn't be a thing. And I'm definitely not of that opinion. I think from like the studies I've seen, there might be a correlation between like violent people playing violent video games, but there's no reason to believe that violent video games would cause violence. And the bigger thing is like, say you have a young child, and say you have this like awful situation of like a school shooting, and it's like a young kid, and like, oh, this kid played Call of Duty all the time. I think it's better to like,
oh my god,
let the kid play Call of Duty, but like talk with them about it, like have conversations about it.
Nope, he gave up.
Yes!
You know, rather than like try to censor it for everyone. I mean, it's, you know, it's your kid. You figure out what's right for your kid.
Oh, I'm going to the basement.
But my point is like, I think it's better to have conversations about
He has
these things rather than censoring it for everyone.
flippity flops. What's it called? Flux the gate.
Or rather, like, if you're gonna have these immoral content, like
the
maybe
trickster perk.
Yeah.
putting it in the right places, like say like pornography. Like we have sites for that. Like there's websites where you go and you know it's porn.
Oh my
and it's
god.
only porn, and then
My
we don't allow
savior.
porn on other sites. This is such a rant. I know.
I can't believe this.
I could better talk about this another time.
Yeah.
All right. Did you run to that locker? Won't he see your scratch marks?
Was still okay.
The gates are probably still blocked.
Yeah, they are.
Son Goku. I just realized I was talking to Son Goku thinking it was you. I forgot that you're now Yui, not Jake. Oh no.
Jake, no. Oh, dude, Jake's a looping god, though. He's got this.
He's kind of in the open. Ain't no way. Oh, maybe? Oh.
Oh my god.
Close. The Bubba also pulled at the last second. Yeah, thanks, guys. I guess my take overall is like when it comes to immoral media
Oh, I'm
or like
done with
immoral
this.
content, I think it's important like we regulate it, sure, but like don't
Jake,
outright
no.
censor
Save
it
yourself.
necessarily. Like just have conversations about it. You know, especially with kids. Like if kids are curious, like they'll find a way. You know, like if your kid really wants to play Call of Duty, they're gonna find a way to play it. So it's better just to be like, all right, let's talk about this. You know this is bad. Why is this bad? And I understand that doesn't work for everyone. I mean, I'm not a parent. I'm barely, not a kid anymore. So.
Dude, this Jake is a whole different breed.
Yeah, he's honestly killing it, dude.
Uh-oh.
Nodders.
No.
Oh, I think they're listening to this stream. Big appreciate.
Only
I was
nodders,
like-
no nopers.
Only nodders, no nopers. Give him a good chase.
Giving him the run around. Whoa.
Whoa.
Dude, we could be voice actors for DVD survivors.
Yeah, specifically for TVD survivors. Oh, ah,
Call them up for the new movie that they're doing.
Oh,
no!
my god, that was the longest sprint I've ever seen.
Oh my god,
was
tenacity,
pretty
unbreakable,
tough.
flip flop. Oh, he doesn't have power struggle though. All right, 07. Chat. Salute. Respect to Son
07s.
Goku 1476. A Jake like none other.
There are many that play Jake,
But none like him.
but this yes.
None like them. The one true Jake.
To rule them all.
I love the Bubba's just named Emily. All lowercase. Bubba's alter ego. Alright, I don't know if you guys are sticking around, but I need to go pee real quick.
Okay. Good luck.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
I got you.
Alright, I'll
Don't
mute.
clog
So.
the toilet. Oh my god.
Fully deplete 3 toolboxes. Well,
I like those challenges because I feel like they're easy.
bringing a brown toolbox.
Mhm. You can just head empty, go in a match and do them.
Oh, GG's Goku.
Hell yeah, Goku.
Loops for days. That was sick.
Nah, you're good, dude. It was a fun game. It was fun watching you play. Bo leaves to go pee, and then
I know.
you're a celebrity in chat.
The Jake of all Jakes.
one Jake to rule them all.
Hey, I found my glyph. I was happy. I got that challenge completed, so.
Honestly, that's a dub. Hell yeah. Bo's gonna be so happy when he comes back. Vibes, I forget that you have like pages upon pages of emotes.
Great. Chat, I'm back. Did they
On
say anything
Twitch.
weird? Oh my god,
Yeah,
Son
like,
Goku!
I
I'm
get
so sorry I
gifted
missed you. I had to
subs
run to the
and I
bathroom,
forget
dude.
that I'm
Thank
subbed
you.
to people,
Thank
and
you,
then
thank
just
you,
all of a
thank you for
sudden my
popping
cool emotes go away, and I'm like so sad because
Mhm.
I'm like, oh no.
And then you
Oh,
can't
Oh,
find
and
them
thanks for
again.
the follow
There was
too.
someone I was subbed to, and he has like a bongo cat kind of version, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna use this forever, and it's gone.
I'm back, by the way.
Bo?
Son Goku popped in my chat. Dropped a follow.
Yeah, dude.
Is it just me, or is it really hard to think when you really have to pee?
No, you're right. I
It's-
can't think like
It's like just only pee is on my mind.
any cloggers.
Any cloggers in chat? You gonna ready up now?
Oh, sorry, I'm sitting here just looking at challenges. Hold on. I need to unhook 2 survivors.
But thanks again. Son Goku.
Maybe one day I'll let that go.
Dude, I was about to talk about how I got one of Ludwig's swipe bidets, and I was gonna say no 9. You cannot use it when you come over after what happened last time. This man was in my house for 15 minutes, clogged my toilet.
No.
Literally, like, he stopped by, we carpooled, got brunch, hung out a little bit, like went a little shopping, get back to my place. He's like, oh, can I use the bathroom before I drive home? And I was like, yeah, man, of course. Walks out of the bathroom, I think I clogged your toilet. I'm like, you think? He's like, I know.
Wait, no.
And he's like, I gotta go. And I was like, yeah, man, don't worry about it.
I felt so bad. I drove all the way from New York to Redacted just to clog your toilet. And I'll do it again.
He's on a mission from God. But yeah, you can ask Rack. He tried it and he said it was life changing. I like to say bidets are a religious experience.
I've heard that. Everyone who's used a bidet has been like,
Yeah. Name somebody who's been disappointed by using a bidet. Name one person. You can't.
not the clog and go.
Dude, I was gonna say the clog and dodge. The man, what's the shit and run?
The shit and split.
I was thinking like hit and run, but that one's good too.
Something my coworker also says all the time. Shit and split.
That they should stop saying that.
I think that's the the tamest thing that they say. She's like a 30-year-old phlebotomist that's been she's been working in phlebotomy for like 20
I
years.
will never not think phlebotomy sounds problematic. Like I understand that it's like finding veins or whatever, or like drawing blood. It sounds like
I think, didn't you say last time that it's a combination of fellatio and lobotomy? 2 things that really shouldn't be associated
did I
with
say
each
that?
other.
It sounds like something I
think
would
you
say,
did.
but I'm not sure I can take credit for that.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's in our DMs. I can't remember.
But yeah, no, now that you mention it, it sounds like fellatio and lobotomy. and one of those things I like, but the other one I don't. You figure it out.
I think it's lobotomy.
All right, Groaning Storehouse, Macmillan. What's up, gamers?
Dude, I need to start bringing items.
Yeah, cheap ass looking.
All you guys with your lunch boxes. Winston, please
Dude,
stop.
Winston, keep
Listen,
going.
I just have to deplete this toolbox. Okay. Oh, it's an enemy.
That's okay. I got it. I got him. Come here, Fred.
Playing baby.
Come here, Fred.
Hi, Demi.
See, yeah, 9. I think we should voice act for DBD.
Dude, we can make our own sound pack and mod the game where every
Fuck.
sound is just made by us.
Dude, the zombie body blocked him.
going back on that gen.
Yeah, if you stay on that gen, I'm kind of giving him the business. Oh, I think he lost me. I think he's confused.
He just... Oh, he's on me now.
He killed Fred! I'm going back on that gen. Fred trying to sell car insurance out here. Man's hustling.
Ooh!
Hashtag justice for Fred. Dude, too young, too soon. Can we get a parade in chat? Okay, wait. New thing, instead of fellatio and lobotomy, what if phlebotomy is just female lobotomy?
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah, oh, you're doing great, Nine.
Oh, it's tree.
I'm getting stakeout tokens.
Schmeckles. I like that spin move you did, Felix.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna keep chasing me. Oh, he really just be right there. The
I
hook.
think I need to give up this gen.
No. I need this. Now it's personal.
Dude, he just kicked it.
I'm gonna try and find another.
He has no idea. He actually has.
He's coming back. He's... Bo! Get out of here! Whoa!
Are you good over there, Ned?
Oh, that's not fair. He punched so fast. He might have unrelenting.
He's got those fast hands.
Oh,
Well,
hey.
he missed and he swung again.
Get to switch out this toolbox. Okay, I'm coming for you, Ned. I'm sorry.
Kate's right here.
Never mind.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. Worth. Not worth.
He
not
knows.
worth.
He knows, dude. I'm going back.
No.
Yes. Oh God, Ginger Mary's in chat looking for you.
Mary.
She's excited to hear you.
Mary.
Mariana Cross.
Lamb.
Not just another. I actually saw Ghost live. Pretty
Hi,
good.
Nemi.
Ghost like toast?
You don't know I'm on the hill.
Yeah, I was actually on his stream.
Damn, bro.
Are you still? He's gone for main. Okay.
Wait, Mary, have you never heard the song Mariana Cross by Ghost? It's all over TikTok. Not that I'm
Winston,
on TikTok.
stop.
Yeah,
Winston, go.
Winston,
Winston's-
you can't have the controller. I'm playing right now.
Yeah, sorry, chat. That's his little brother.
Stop. He's attacking me. He looks so mad.
Oh, it's dinner time. That's why.
Mary, you can do exclamation point bonk
Winston, I need 10 minutes.
to butt spot. Just make sure to put at butt spot or you'll bonk yourself.
I can't see the skill checks, Winston. Please. Stop.
Winston just wants some love and attention.
He
Hey,
does.
hello.
Thanks. Taking over my shift. Tag team.
Welcome. Woo! I need to deplete this toolbox. Please.
Wait, is that another toolbox?
It was.
Oh,
it was
yeah, I totally
another
found
brown
another
toolbox.
It was great. I found it while you were on the hook.
Wait, when did I get healed?
I don't know. I didn't.
I
put the
healed
move.
you. What?
Oh. I might
Nine,
have
are you
dealt with
okay?
Winston. I'm good. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm the tipsy one here.
Wait, you have been drinking?
Oh, absolutely. It's taking all my brain power at the moment. I think I've started mouth breathing because I'm focusing so hard.
The gamer breathing.
Hello. Oh.
There's no way this works.
You
Oh,
don't
that's
want
right. I need to get unhooks.
Me? I might have a hook. Oh well. Never mind.
I'm on my way. PBO hook. I need the challenge.
I'm not quite sure what's happening. Yeah.
I'll take either one.
Man, I think he
I'll
went
do
back
it.
and kicked my gen.
I was like, I'll do a heal if you need.
Oh no.
It's fine. I think yeah, he's coming for me.
Bet. Also, no problem, Mary. Thanks for
Dude,
popping
Dude, you
in.
can't be
Yeah.
walking with your tentacle out like that.
What? Hey, yo.
I kicked it.
Oh, we have so many gens going.
He left.
I didn't even
it?
realize.
Okay.
Oh my god, all 3 are being worked on.
I think he's kind of freaking.
Lumpadubs.
Oh, he kicked my gen.
No, don't come back here. I'm almost done.
No, he's chasing me. And
Don't
me.
look.
Oh,
He's
never
coming.
mind. Never mind.
Does he need
What?
to kick gens? Because none of us have been hooked. Except for 9.
What?
Dude, Fred's back.
Oh, my homie. My main man, Fred.
Do you know I'm here, sir? Go get the boon. Go get the boon.
Dude, I'm getting so many tokens right now.
Good, Nemi. Good, Nemi. Go get the boon.
Go get the boom.
Oh my god, it regressed so much. No!
9.
No!
Oh, hey, look, a boon.
Oh, he has Sloppy.
Hold on, that I can boon.
I don't think Sloppy is a good perk for Nemi because you try to get tentacle hits.
Mr. Nemi. Nemi-chan. Goodbye, Mr. Nemi-chan.
Ooh, actually, my gen's still pretty.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yours is more, but I have 2.
You're doing great,
Swing
Ginger.
around the
Keep
rock.
my
Whee!
Oh, he's tier 2.
I think it's too good.
Nah, I think it's tier 2.
He...
Yeah, boy.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the right gate. The random's going to the left.
I'm close.
And brother, I'm a patriot. That's why I go the right way. With the right pedal. I'm being chased. Sorry, this is not. Oh!
Am I 99ing or full
Also,
sending?
thanks, Goku. Thanks for sticking around. These all are great.
Oh!
9!
You might need a full stand. Ah!
I don't think I can make it
Oh,
9.
keep recovering. Just recover. Oh, I found the hex bones.
Oh no,
They're literally right here.
I brought Unbreakable as well.
Hold on. I don't think I make this.
Holding on.
Oh god.
I certainly did not.
There's no way he knows.
Nobody's gonna know.
Dude, he's playing Minecraft.
I'll just keep recovering. Oui, oui, mon ami.
No, Steve is on his way. Resident Evil.
Oh, he opened the...
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, if he has
has-
Bloodborne, I'm gonna cry. Don't worry, I'll just unhook myself. Wait, are you two leaving?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Kate.
Hook me.
Hook me.
Trying to hook me and hook me.
Hook me.
We're resetting.
Wait, 1 sec. Dude, the zombie is camping me.
No. Screams for eternity.
So, Bo, how are you? You come to this neighborhood often?
No, I'm just hanging tight.
just hanging out? Yeah. me
Yeah, no, this is kind of my new hang.
So this is all for Kate. Kate is...
I'm kind of hooked on this place, you know?
too. Yeah, same.
Do you think he'll mind me on the hex bones?
No, he's chasing us.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay.
I'll take him away.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to the hex bones.
No! How did he know? Do you think he has Undying?
There's no way.
I make this. I'm sorry, I'm kind of heading your way. He's picking them up. We need a reset.
Yeah.
Well,
Here, no, you...
we're all dead on hook.
Shit. What do we do?
Well, and he has Noed, so healing isn't actually
Gonna do
super
anything.
helpful. It's
Maybe
just
if we
wasting time.
I can go on the.
And the issue is the
mission
hex bones
top.
are near that hook. I think we just need to risk it, get the save, get out of that like far gate.
I'm gonna go for the
Okay.
hex bones if I can.
I mean,
Zombies
they're
on the way.
close.
Oh, he's on his way.
Oh, I see him. Okay, we need a... He's just gonna chase us all out.
Yeah. No.
I'm okay. Yeah, he doesn't want me. Oh, yeah, you can...
Just buy some time.
Yeah. Yeah, he headed back, by the way. Oh, he's on. Okay.
I'm giving my life for you, Kate. No, Kate. Okay.
Kate, why she's doing the bagging him?
Kate, you go. Okay.
Wait. I know you're dead on hook. Crazy idea. I want the hex
Okay.
bones. You just have to waste his time if he comes to that other gate.
Let me try. Hello, Misa.
I don't have time for this. I gotta leave. I don't have time for bones.
Whoa, Mary, you do not disrespect.
I forgot where the
my
gate
like
was.
that.
You forgot
How
where the
dare you.
gate was?
Yes, I did. 100%.
Oh no, Ginger. Oh no.
I have. Oh wait, I have Unbreakable. I'm not gonna make it.
No, you're out of time.
Stop whipping me. Don't
He's
mess
very
with what I'm
excited.
into. If I get this, please let me live.
Oh, you need to get him to hit you and you get a speed boost. No, wait, no, you don't. You don't have soul guard.
That was a
I'm
great
stupid.
speed
I'm
boost,
I'm
though.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm. With the no, you were infected anyway. If you weren't infected, the whip would have done that. But I don't know where that thought was coming from in my brain.
No respect on the Unbreakable.
Oh, he did a wait. I feel like Bloodborne didn't proc.
I think we just wasted enough time because it was a long time.
Yeah, it is only Bloodborne 2.
I gotta feed Winston. I'll be right back.
Okay. Ginger, do you know what he said? I didn't actually understand.
I think he said he's getting food.
I don't know if he's feeding Winston. Oh my god, Joe, what's up, dude? The games have been better tonight than last night. A lot of fun. I think having good friends around helps. Unhook a survivor during the endgame collapse. I can do that. We can do that, right, Ginger?
Yeah.
Oh, the killer popped in my chat. Sorry I played scummy that round. I was doing a challenge. I don't think you were being scummy.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, I think that was pretty chill. Good game. It just sucked that the Noed bones were right by a gate and a couple hooks. That was really rough for us. But I mean, we could have gotten a 3-man escape. We just stuck
Got a
around.
little too altruistic. Yeah.
Yeah, just no one left behind. Ready for the premium gameplay. I appreciate that. Oh, thanks for the follow. Rapscallion is such a funny name for this. Thanks for the follow, you Rapscallion. Okay, I have a build idea. It's the walk fast build idea. So Boon Dark Theory. Yeah.
I
So
love
it's
this one.
Boon Dark Theory, then self-aware. Self-aware. Oh yeah, good luck, have fun next. To you too, Rapscallion. Thanks again. Okay. Dark Theory, self-aware. I guess. Hope? Hope would work? What else gives haste?
I don't know.
I don't know. The only other
I guess off the record would give longer haste off the hook.
the one I've done similar to this is the gotta go fast one. Where
That
it's-
one's a meme.
I love that one though.
Anyway, that doesn't. What else adds haste? See, this is why I could use a perk search, and I can search haste.
Oh, that's too complicated, dude. If we don't have a search bar, that's like 10 years from now.
It's because they're French Canadian.
How late do you guys think you'll be playing tonight?
Actually, I was just thinking about I'm hitting my wall, so I might hop off before I just like completely
Okay.
start losing it.
Oh, no problem, dude. Thanks for all the games.
Yeah, thanks for letting me join.
No problem.
I will
Chat.
still be in stream.
Say goodnight to Ginger. Appreciate that. Also,
Yeah.
9, there's a Speedy Joe telling you to stream more.
I see that.
All right, bye.
Bye. There she go. Boys, 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 boys.
boys.
Okay. Dude, I need one more. What else gives haste? There's gotta be one more.
I have no idea. I should probably ready up though. Oh wait, I have a challenge. Hold on.
I'll show you a challenge.
Oh. I need 8 emblems of bronze or better. How do I select this? There we go.
You select it, man.
Well, I'm clicking on it.
Yeah, just click longer, forehead.
I got them clickers out. Do you remember? And did you ever have like the clickers in high school or middle school, where like in my I think it was my 5th grade class, we all had like our own little remote, and we would use it every day to like participate in class.
I vaguely knew about this. This was like kind of.
Oh my god! Wait a minute.
New memory unlocked.
Wait, Jonah, is that you? Dude, Bo, this, I think... Hang on, I need to confirm this first.
No. Just nopers.
Nopers. I'm so sorry, Joe. I'm not putting two... Okay. For... For some context, Bo, this is my friend Jonah. And the last time we hung out, I left like an entire pack of White Claws at his house.
No, that was for him. That's a good friend.
Dude, it took me a second to figure out who you were, because your name on Twitch used to be Pimpmaster XXX, and that's what I was expecting.
That goes hard. Change it back.
For real.
Man, what else gives haste?
Oh yeah, though, dude, I plan on streaming more often.
9, help.
I don't know, man.
9.
You got 5. You're done.
Man, I grabbed adrenaline, but there's gotta be more, you know? Ooga. DVD Survivor Haste perks. I'm ready for the premium gameplay tonight, boys. Appreciate it.
Boys.
Boys. Dude, I gotta show you this crazy beatboxing video. How long will the boys be playing tonight? Honestly, this might be my last game.
Yeah, same.
I think this is the last one. But
Because you normally do 8 to 10, right, Bo?
yeah, but I started like 30 minutes late. So
That's
I'm
true.
doing 8:30, 10:30. But I just, especially because I think it, oh, this is the wrong way. I think it's a daylight savings and we're going to lose an hour.
Oh, that's right. Damn. That sucks.
Yeah. Daylight savings is such a scam. Just put more
For
hours.
real. It's for the farmers, brother.
It's not though. That's like an urban legend. I was talking about this with my mom, and she didn't believe me.
Was this before or after she roasted your dad?
That was the other night.
Hell yeah, Jonah. Good luck, dude.
Oh, this 10 page, 10 pages, 10 minutes.
It's a minute per page.
I like those odds.
Speed demon. Jonah, please tell me that paper's due like at midnight tonight.
Oh, Big
Who is it?
T.
Oh, it's
Big
the big
T.
man on campus. He doesn't know I'm here. He knows I'm here.
I was gonna say he didn't care where I went. I'm trying to find bones to boon. Gotta tickle some bones, preferably fiery ones.
Oh, he got me.
He said thankfully it's due tomorrow night. Put on those 7-Eleven running shoes, boy. Boy.
Boy.
I would love to find some bones. It would make my night if I found some bones.
Oh, he's on me again. What's going on, bestie?
This is always the problem. You always happen upon bones most matches, and then you bring a perk for bones, and you can't find any.
For real. That's how I felt on the Midwich map, or the whatever the school one is that we played earlier.
Midwich Elementary.
I-
Yeah.
I spent that entire match looking for bones. I only found one, and it wasn't even the hex bones.
I found 2, but neither were hexes. Yeah. I'm in a main building, 2nd floor. Just kidding. He also. Oh, never mind. Oh yeah, no, they're also main building, 2nd floor.
Oh, yes, Starstruck.
Yeah. Oh, basements and main building. Oh no. No.
I just saw Jake's name. Oh, that goes hard.
Please not like this. Alright, I gotta get away from main building. I do not want to go in basement. I think he's trapping it up.
Oh, more than likely. I mean, we just crank out these gens. Oh, he's on me. He doesn't want me, actually.
Yeah, I think he's really just gonna camp basement. I found a trap.
That's unfortunate, dude.
Hey, it only takes 7 tries at most, and that one only
That's
took
okay.
2. I found bones?
He's on the others. Like, lit bones or
No.
normal bones?
Dull bones. I'm firing them up.
Lighting one up.
Lighting one up for the boys. Sparking up the bones. There you go, Dark Theory. Dude, I walk so fast now.
What? Why are people using dark? Oh, that's part of your build, right?
I'm walking fast, yeah.
You're zooming.
Why do I need to walk? Nobody knows, but I'm doing it.
Dude, you've got a place to be. But at the same time, it's not urgent.
Right.
Oh, there's a depleted toolkit. God
Hold
damn
on.
it.
Let me... Oh, I sped up. I'm on my... Dude, I feel like a grandpa. Ooh, this gen is
kinda
almost done.
You kind of got the grandpa posture going on.
Yeah, because I'm injured.
It's kind of.
You know what that's from? Yeah, it's a regular show.
Like
Mordecai and Rigby. Yeah. Dude, instead of a dating profile, it's like I got kind of bagged by the Hattie a little bit.
Are you guys both going to the basement?
I'm in the basement. Yes. But yeah, imagine instead of dating profile, it's like a, or even on a dating profile, you just say looking for the Mordecai to my Rigby.
That could be a. No, that wouldn't be a good Tinder profile.
Why not?
Dude, he's really just keeping his peepos on that basement.
Yeah. All right, I'll just unhook myself. 1 sec. I got scammed. I only had 2 tries.
I mean, what do you do? Should I just trade?
Damn, forget 10 minutes, 10 pages. Write faster.
I'm just going for it.
There are. Yep.
Oh wait, I thought he stepped in his own trap.
No.
I tried.
Yep.
What trap went off? I heard.
I think Hattie disarmed one maybe, but it still made her scream.
She step in a trap on the left and the right. Aw.
I think he has the add-on where he can't. I think that's an add-on still.
Oh.
Or it is. I don't even know. I think that's
I'm
an
gonna rip
add-on.
it, dude.
You oh, never mind.
I didn't get it.
That's okay. Happens to the best of us, brother.
07's brother.
07's brother. It's just...
What's up?
The trapper's named Mao Zedong. Oh, now I see a $1.50 Costco hot dog. Yeah, I have the names turned off in the match.
That's probably smart.
I don't know, I just don't like... Excuse me.
Buddy had a wall.
Oh, sorry, man. I just don't like having a bunch of HUD in my face. And especially streaming, yeah. Like, I wish I could hide the names in the lobby. And like, it just shows them at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm worried more about stream sniping than I am about, like, people being toxic. Came back just in time, I see. But he had wall hacks. And one more.
One more?
One more.
Yeah, we can end it on a good one.
Gotta end it on a good one. Okay, hear me out. Dark Theory, Self-Aware. Dead Hard, Vigil.
But you have to be sprinting to use Dead Hard. That's not walking.
Right, but the point is you use the Dead Hard and then you walk as much as possible to get Dead Hard back.
That's fair.
Or you could do Sprint Burst instead.
I'm gonna do the locker build.
Sprint Burst might be more useful because it's you don't have to be injured. The locker build is good though.
Was it decisive, deception? No, not decisive. Iron Will, is that what it is?
Bro, my music stopped so long ago. Feels bad, man.
No, not the stream beats.
I didn't even realize. Stream Beats by Hair Seller. Not sponsored yet. Unless.
Dude, Hair Seller's listening right now, and he's
I hope so.
typing up he's typing up an email right now. Page
Yeah, Bo Bastion plus Twitch at pm.me.
You should at Harris Heller every day asking for his sponsorship on Twitter.
It's just so obnoxious.
Day one of asking.
Dude,
Harris
best
Heller.
case scenario, he blocks me.
I mean, that I feel like in a way you still win.
Yeah, you get noticed.
quick and quiet and head on. Oh, dude, where's the H? There it is. Okay.
After the G, but before the I. Oh, dude, I bought a new instrument today. I bought a bass trombone off a friend
Ooh.
for like 500
Hell
bucks.
yeah. That's a really good deal.
Yeah, it's a Schiller, which is, in my experience, not the most popular brand for brass instruments. It seems like they don't make like crazy professional instruments, but they're very good value. Like this trombone new was like 700, which is still crazy for a bass trombone. But I got the trombone with the original case and then like a $400 gig bag for 500 bucks. Because it's just been sitting around. Because this guy's a tubist and he bought the bass trombone off a friend years ago. But yeah, I mean, it plays pretty well. I think it needs a little tune-up on the rotor valves, but and I gotta find a couple screws because one of the paddles came off. But I can still play it.
Yeah, I need to. I don't think I've ever played in a band with a bass trombone.
So, yeah, so like in an orchestra, usually you have 2 tenors and a bass. In a concert band, sometimes you'll have 2 tenor trombones and a bass, but often, especially for younger groups, it's just 3 tenors because band music usually doesn't go that low for the 3rd trombone, so you don't need a bass. But I like having it just because it's a little different of a sound. And there are some like higher level band pieces where the 3rd trombone really should be a bass. But yeah, so now I have a tenor trombone, a bass trombone, a super bone. I'm not kidding, I'll explain in a minute. A euphonium and a Kaiser baritone. And then another euphonium I'm selling. So a super bone is a slide trombone that also has valves for the left hand.
Oh,
so you can play
I
it
think
like
I've
a
seen
trumpet.
those.
You can play like a trumpet, a trombone, or both. So I really love it for jazz because what I'll do is I'll use the slide as much as possible, but I'll use the valves for slurred passages because some slurs are the trombone with the slide only has certain natural slurs. Otherwise you have to like just really softly tongue, like legato tongue. But so I'll use the valves for slurred passages, or I'll use it for like really fast jazz passages.
That seems like fun. I need to get my French horn tuned up because I haven't played it in a couple months, and I got it out the other day, and my 3rd key is sticking. So that's why that's why I messaged you about the oil, and I was
yeah. Like I said, I just like absolutely info dumped to you on the other day, but I figured
I never responded to you, but I do appreciate it, and
I figured I tried to give like a TLDR, and then like you have more info if you wanted to read through. But basically, you definitely want, like, you need basically rotor oil, bearing and linkage oil, and slide grease. And the slide grease is for all the tuning slides. The rotor oil you actually pour down the pipes. Like you take out the slides and pour it down the pipes. And then the bearing and linkage.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I'm being
big chased.
Big chase. Oh, that hit me? For real?
It's another
For real, Nemi?
Nemi, please.
Nemi, please. Becky, let me smash.
Nemi. Oh, I thought that was a zombie. It's just Jake.
Damn, what are you saying about Jake?
I'm just saying, dude, he could use some water. I don't know.
But yeah, in giving you the answer to what oils you need, I learned that I actually have been oiling my instruments wrong. My rotor's
I feel like
slightly wrong.
I was never taught, like...
Dude, it's like I said, people, like students are not taught how to oil rotors. Like piston valves, it's dummy simple. It's just piston oil on the piston. But rotors, you have to like put rotor oil down the slides and then bearing and linkage oil under the cap and on all the springs. And Rotors are a lot more complicated.
And like, I remember, I have a memory from when I was younger about trying to clean out my French horn.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just kind of put it in a bathtub.
No, that's
and I
okay.
called it good. And the thing is, it took me so long to get all the water out of the French horn. You don't know, like I was twirling that thing for days.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm on my way. What's up, Jake?
Oh, I ran into him. I thought he was coming from the other direction. SMH in the head. Don't kick that. No, Nemi.
Nemi, please.
Man, I'm reading your story as it unfolds. But he said, went to a steak place with my dad and his friend, and she pulls out the chair for me.
Oh my god.
Wait, my sprint burst is almost back. Let's go! I just had to walk for a second and then I got it back. That was actually the most goated value I've ever seen.
The build, bro.
It was the visual. It was genuinely, that's a zombie I'm walking into. Please zombie. Please zombie! Oh my god. Dude, I wish you could boon over somebody else's boon. It'd be so BM.
Boon. Oh, you just like replace them.
Yeah, just replace their boon with your boon.
Oh, there's a zombie!
She can pick me up from my hotel anytime. Not his friend, receptionist type person. His like assistant?
I think this nemesis is playing Drunk by Daylight.
What the heck did I just see? Oh, that was from the boon.
Just go around replacing everyone's boon with nothing but dark peering.
Oh, the person at the restaurant pulled out the chair for you. What do you mean she can pick me up from my hotel anytime?
I'm not sorry, Jake.
I don't understand. You lost me there. Woo! So like the hostess. Yeah. Hostess has 2 S's, but I got you. So the hostess pulls out the chair for you. What do you mean she can pick me up for my hotel anytime? That's where you lost me, brother. Alright, I'm in the chem lab with Michaela, by the way.
Roger that. I think Jake is still being chased.
Oh, you're just saying that she was hot? Why didn't you just say she was... Okay. Is that the whole story, man?
I'm just beaming this zombie over and over again.
Oh, I see. I see, Michaela. This is in the... You just keep beaming the zombie.
Yeah.
My eyes. Bald.
Bold. I'm not playing Babish anymore, though.
I know. Pretty alone right now. Man, I get that for what it's worth. Like, I've been kind of talking to somebody, but they're long distance, so...
Dude, Jake is having a rough match.
Jake is... Yeah. I mean, you didn't say he looked like a zombie. Don't worry, I'm gonna get him.
I need to vaccinate.
Oh man, this was my gen from earlier.
Is it all the way regressed?
All the way, bro. It's so funny. He keeps checking on it. I'm working on the gen. He can't see me, but I'm working on the gen. Oh, he's here now. Alright, hopefully I'm gonna pull him away. No, he... Oh, my...
I got him. Come on, Jake. Oh, I'm taking Jake's spot.
Yeah, but you haven't been hooked yet, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I mean, it's a good trade.
Decent trade.
D's.
In the words of Buttspot, D's and trade.
Shout out the Buttspot. Dude, I can't believe Mary insulted Buttspot earlier.
Yeah, Mary hates Buttspot. Mary's just kind of...
What?
Racist towards the androids, the AI.
What's this?
She's bottist.
I can't believe
Goku
that.
said, "Bro, long
After
distance."
all,
is
but
rough
bot does
sometimes."
for us.
Yeah, that's why I don't really do long distance. Like, I've met some really nice people, and I'm like, it just doesn't work for me. I'm a very physical person. Like, I think I'm a very emotionally available guy. Oh, that was close. Very emotionally available guy, but like for me, it's really important to like have physical touch and like be able to cuddle or hold hands or go places. It's just tough. But give me a sec, Matt. I'm hitting skill checks. For her, I could make this work 10-hour drive. If it's worth anything will work. Yeah, I guess. We could work. But, oh, no, we can't, Matt. You're too far. You just want me for my employee discount. I'm glad you got out of the basement. We're in a good position here. We just gotta not do anything crazy.
I need to vaccinate, although I don't see any other.
Honestly, I wouldn't. Unless you're dead on hook or he's already at tier 3.
I don't think there are any other vaccines. I think they've all been used.
Jake, where are you? All right, Jake's outie, I guess.
I mean, do you blame Jake?
No. I think he saw that.
No. There's no way.
I never have to place my boon dark theory. This is why I don't bring boons. I never find bones. I don't know.
I never remember to use them.
That's another part of it, to be honest. I want to see the cake that got
I
passed.
could bring 4 boons, dude, and
Oh,
I
you're
still
making it
would not
weird.
forget to use them. What? How did that hit me?
Yeah. That's how I am. I'd rather choose to have a face-to-face relationship just because I'm a physical person. Like, yeah. Yeah. It's tough.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jake. You gotta run, dude.
1 sec, chat. One sec. Yeah, I just don't know where bones are. We just gotta put them on a gen. There's a couple under me over here. Oh, is this, It is circle healing. Okay, that's helpful.
Bo, I want you to know that Winston has opened up the biscuit factory for business.
he's kneading your lap.
Yeah.
Fresh bread. Bro, there's a zombie blocking this door.
Frank, come on, man. I thought we had something.
He has no idea I'm here. Okay, he knows. That's fair. I got the speed boost and he's on the other side of the pallet at least. Man, he kicked my gen again.
Michaela, ¿por qué no healing?
¿Por qué no heals?
Oh, damn it.
Man, it always sucks having like a solo gen towards the end of the game.
It's okay, Jake's ripping this one out. Are you being chased?
No, he has Rancor. I'm hiding in a locker. I didn't notice the entire match.
Dude,
I'm usually good about that. I'm just hiding in a locker, man. Can you let me know when a gate is prepped?
I'm prepping one right now.
Oh fuck, I'm not gonna know which one it is though. Uh-oh. I'm surprised I guess they changed Rancor because I thought it used to make you scream. I saw his aura. What? He was on the other side.
Sorry.
No. No, wait. Oh, wait, there's a hook right there, question mark? Dude, did you even start this gate?
I bungered it, dude.
Oh, I'm big dead.
I did start it, but then he came for me.
Oh,
Am I cheap?
why did he whip?
And not Nene.
I was just surprised he whipped me. Dude, he's not. I'm his obsession. He can kill me on the spot. What is he doing? This is crazy.
Dude, the zombies kind of popped off this game too.
I ran into a zombie like a fool. But yeah, I don't. He could have just punched me and then moried me. He forgore. He bro. He brought Rancor and then forgot about it, I guess. Honestly, same though.
I love bringing Rancor.
Please, no, please, please save. Please, I beg. I am Strummer. No. Wait, the Jake's dead on hook. Oh, he's gonna chase the Jake out for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame the Jake.
I just feel bad for this person who's dying first hook.
I mean, maybe she can.
Does she have Unbreakable?
No. He's vaulting.
Oh, did he vault trying to pick her up?
Yeah.
Cringe.
She also has boil over. Maybe she can wiggle.
That doesn't increase how fast you wiggle anymore. It just increases how much you waggle them back and forth.
No, she's gonna make it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Please.
What a Chad, dude. Oh my god.
Chad Michaela moment.
Chad Kayla.
Oh, what's up, Ren? Dude, I'm about to
Damn.
wrap up. Wait, he only had Rancor and didn't use it. Homie could have worried me. Appreciate you.
He only had fucking Rancor. This poor guy, poor Don Penguini. I mean, for only having one perk, I think he did well. Yeah. Or they
Dude,
did
Don
well,
Penguini is also a goated name. Wait, how can you still be new when you have a spirit perk on the Nemesis?
Maybe the one thing, the Shine of Secrets or whatever.
Oh, that's no, but I think that would be. I don't know how that works. I've never really bought from there before. Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected. 1,000 hours and still learning.
2,000 ear shards.
Yeah, but does that give it? How does that work? Does that just put it in your blood web for all characters? So I thought that
It
just
puts
like
it in for everyone.
Yeah, but I thought that just like gave it to you at tier 3 or something for everyone.
No, I mean it's 2,000 for the tier 1. I can buy Hubris right now. The tier 1 Hubris for everyone.
All right, I'm gonna let you go, 9.
Yeah.
Thanks for the games, dude.
It's fun.
I'll catch you again soon.
See you later, bro.
See ya. Chat, say goodnight to 9, please. Please, please, please. Oh, GG, thanks for popping in chat, dude. I'm actually wrapping up my stream. But, guys, please don't go anywhere. Please, please, please. If you can, hang around. I always appreciate it. Let's see. I always like to raid when possible, and I try to raid somebody who's doing something similar to my stream to kind of keep the energy going. We'll get those White Claws someday. I don't know if anyone I know is really... Yeah, no one's really streaming DVD or similar. Do you guys like League? I know this is a dumb question. Guys, I need to ask a favor. So, this is Dual Blades. She's a friend of a friend. Can I ask a favor? She's playing League. Now, I'm not a League player. I've never streamed League. I've only played League a few times. But she only has one viewer right now. So if anyone's able to hang around with me for the raid, I'd really appreciate it. Just hang with me 10-15 minutes, say hi, let her know that you're there. I think it would really mean a lot to her. And she's very nice, very sweet. So let me queue up this raid real quick. Probably, yeah, no, it's probably the same thing Boiler was doing. Oh god. Oh god, there we go. Flash raid, Dual Blades. Okay, chat, as always, thank you so much for sticking around, whether it was for a minute or the entire stream. I always appreciate it, especially the people who were in chat talking to me. Like I said, if you guys aren't doing too much tonight, I'd really appreciate you joining me for the raid to Dual Blades. She's a friend of a friend. She's very sweet. League's not my favorite game. I don't know about you guys, but just say hi. It would mean a lot to me and I think to her. Otherwise, if you got to go, appreciate you popping in. Next stream will be Thursday at 8 Eastern. I normally stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, 8 to 10 Eastern. So thank you again, everyone. I'll catch Yins again soon. Bye, guys.